Alright, so we've got two conditions here. We've got cosine theta is 8/17 and tangent must be negative, and from that information we're supposed to get the other 5 trig functions. Okay, so the temptation here is to just say, okay, well, if cosine theta is 8/17, I will just label the adjacent 8 and the hypotenuse 17. The problem with that is, so if you do it like that, this is in quadrant 1 and tangent's not negative in quadrant 1. So you could do Pythagorean theorem to get this side. You're going to think that it's positive, but that's not what they actually want. So instead, we've got to think about, well, where is tangent negative? Everything's positive in 1. Tangent's positive in 3, but it could be negative in 2 or 4. Now, it's very subtle here, but this cosine is positive, and this is where cosine's positive, cosine's not positive here. So the only quadrant that makes sense from all of those clues is quadrant 3. So adjacent to hypotenuse is still 8/17, but now that this is going down, this is going to be the negative value. Okay, so let's review that again, because I think that might be the hardest part of this question. Why I knew that theta had to be in quadrant 3. 1, because cosine is positive 8/17, and everything's positive in 1, only sine and its reciprocal in 2, only tangent and its reciprocal in 3, and cosine and its reciprocal in 4. So this could be in 4 or in 1, but with tangent to be negative, all students take calculus. So I already narrowed it down over here to 1 or 4, so I don't care about these. Tangent's positive in 1, so that doesn't work, and negative in 4. So between all of those, that's how I knew that. So that's how I drew, or why I drew theta in quadrant 3 like I did. I do notice that this is an 8, 15, 17 triangle. Now, you might not think that drawing the picture correctly matters, and sometimes, or a lot of the times, you still get the answers correct. But in this case, if you don't draw this theta in quadrant 3, you're probably not going to think about this length being negative. Nothing about Pythagorean theorem or Pythagorean triples tells you that this is going to be negative. So use Pythagorean theorem to find this length if you need to, or know the Pythagorean triple. But from here, it's just regular SOHCAHTOA, which you should have done hundreds of times by now. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, and flip for its reciprocal, and tangent's opposite over adjacent, and flip for its reciprocal, and flip this one for its reciprocal. Now, one thing I will say is, if you did forget this, negative right here, and you're careful about your answer, tangent's supposed to be negative, you probably didn't get that tangent is negative, and so cotangent is negative. So if you're careful and you forget that negative on this question, you should still catch it before you move on. But those are the other 5 and how you're supposed to come about them.